Have you ever heard of the show called The Loud House? It's a series where middle child Lincoln Loud had to survive and a family of 10 sisters. Yeah, that show. Well, what if I told you that I found the unreleased Dark episode? Well, it happened to me a few days before writing this. It's a bit of a long story. I was suffering the web and came across the website Veggietales television media knows the media known as Digital Fossil. It was a website which carried strange lost pieces of media. That's where phone calls, security footages, images, deleted scenes of movies, etiquette. I had an internet of strange lost pieces of media, so I was curious enough to check out the website. The links were ordered fossil, and the following uppercase word was short phrases of few numbers. These words or phrases sometimes nonsense and unrelated website entry, and sometimes they made sense. For example, fossil dog 807, fossil help 9,482, and fossil don't look 370. Some are entries on the website were slightly disturbing. For example, a recording of the cat playing with a dead bird, or the news of the child going missing in an abandoned playground. I don't know how the website recovered these pieces of lost media, but I had almost hands-on. However, I stayed silent. I didn't work the website anyway. However, as I scrolled after seeing this entry, I found something that caught my eye. The fossil loud 11. That was interesting. It had a word that reminded me of the ones from earlier that makes me have 11 after it. It reminded me of Lincoln Loud, a same 11-year-old boy from the show I just talked about earlier. I clicked on the link and this description of the entry. The description said the following. This is the lost episode of The Loud House, which tells enough is enough. It was meant to be a finale of the third season, but scrapped after the production is done. Crestful planning another season finale, 3 finale at the moment. However, this replacement was reasonable. This episode was lost for being too disturbing and dark for the series. If you are the fan of The Loud House, we must tell you this is no joke at all. The pure discretion and advice. I was curious. I was wonder why could this be for The Loud House, like The Loud House has such an episode like this. So after I downloaded it, I started the episode. When the episode started, the usual intro played. Nothing was wrong so far. However, at the end, nobody went to the couch to watch TV. It didn't act like they were there as well. So Lily's poo-poo wasn't present at all. Wasn't present. Another thing was wrong. The ending logo is taking the color of pastel red instead of orange. The website was no joke, not joking around. I was definitely something wrong with this episode. The title card had a black background with white fog flowing across on the left with the text saying enough is enough. The bottom bubbles below showed who made the episode as well, which was the same as the first 2 seasons. The music was low, rumbling noise that was low ambient, something you may hear in a horror game. The episode started at the house, as it sometimes did. The music was absent, like the beginning of the brawl in the family. It cut to Lincoln Loud watching television instead of play video games. Usually does. He was just chilling. Don't you just hate living with 10 sisters? Well, sometimes I do, he said. I turned his smile. I saw his smile turn upside down. But on the rare instance, I go a little too far. Oh, I should just leave me alone. Didn't hurt me. They're my siblings. I want to love them, but they think they must have back. Lincoln here sounded serious and normal. Hey, bro, Luann said as she appeared next to Lincoln on the next shot. What do the platypus says before leaving the bar? Put in my bell, and Lincoln frowned as she laughed. Yes, Luann, very fun. Do you want to smell my flower? I'm not falling to it. Luann's flower spread on Lincoln's face before it could finish again. Okay, Luann, do you want a banana pie, cream pie? She said before slamming it to Lincoln's face again. I wonder his description that this was the episode too dark. The wind was making jokes and making the episode more stupid and graphic. Lincoln was face palm in distraction. Stop it, Luann. You're not funny at all. What do you call a boy completely white? A flower boy, Luann laughed for a bit. But one shot later, Lincoln slid his hand open his face revealing angry eyes. Enough is enough, Lincoln said furiously, and he grabbed Luann by her shoulders. Wow, nice grip, bruh. We should work out in the gym. Luann laughed, and her little joke. And something happened. It took me back to shot of Lincoln. I felt I was hit by a train. Just after Luann laughed at her little joke, Lincoln slammed her head against the wall, and bruising her, knocked her down. A low, heavy tune in the background, playing in the background. Luann gasped, and Lincoln gasped and stared at cracking Luann's head and her purple bruise onto his body. He looked in his hands in fear. What have I done? I've never did something like this before. He looked back at Luann. As he looked at him, but this time, it made me feel so alive for a reason. I've never been so good for a while. I just know what to do. I could, for 3 seconds, transform to Lori, testing her phone, possibly to Bobby. Hey, Lori, can you drive me to a comic store? Just do it yourself or get your mom, Lincoln. Lori left the phone, and which I assume was going to the bathroom. And Lincoln looked at her phone, and she leapt inside, glaring at the plan in his next wipeout. One shot later, Laura was when Lincoln let go of my phone. Right, Lori was hit by the head on her as it broke into shards of glass. Lincoln walked to her and looked down on her. This is for smashing my VR console, teenage brat, Lincoln said. In silent anger, it cuts to Lori's lifeless body, and her phone shattered glass across her face and cut across some pieces where she was bleeding across her face. On where she was cut, I shot. Was a middle child go such a killing spree like this? Why was this made? I thought to myself. It cut to black yet again to change. A different scene take in the backyard. Hey, Lincoln, wanna wrestle? Sure, why not, Len? I'll bet I win this time. I knew this is no wrestling match as I keep watching where it would go as Lincoln wrestled with Len. He got behind her, and shortly after, it cuts close up of Len's eyes. Come at me, bro. And Len's and the cut short when she went on her, but gagged. I knew something went wrong. The dark tune was getting louder. It cut away for close up a show Lincoln choking his 13-year-old sister from behind. And not only that, the animation was all due to change style similar to the King of the Hill. It looked shocking, but didn't look as carny as before. I watched Lynn grip her brother's hands to break free. It was useless to her escape. It cuts to Lynn's point of view as she was turned around to face to Lincoln. What's Lincoln? This is when I feel like I'm just going to faint. Lincoln's face looked menacing and cold and possessed at this point. His eyes were bloodshot, and his pupils are large, and his skin was darker. The animation at this point went back to normal size style, but his face was delightfully in Lincoln's pupils, reflecting on his choking sister Len. I watched in shock, and her vision went blurry, and her one closed. By the time her eyes shut, she was done. It's over for her. The gloomy music stopped. The next shot, Link went to Lincoln in the dark, and with Len's body next to him, a different low tune. Lincoln looked at his siblings, to body pressure in his face, and in 30 seconds he spoke. Sleep tight, Len. You're free. I got chills. Lincoln had snapped. He was no longer the man of the plan, but a corrupted soul. I wondered who's next with the axe. He wondered himself and looked up with a planning smile. Thoughts to come to him. The video suddenly turned black and white. Lincoln pulled Lenny closer to a pair of scissors onto his hand and glared at Lola with a baseball bat in his hands. But he was seen smashing Luna's guitar in her face and about to set Lucy on fire. And the line was white and stuck for 1 week later. The 5 seconds was fade into the night sky. It was nighttime again, and it was black and white. Lincoln was staring at his bodies with now dead sisters, which is under his bed. Lily choked, I assume his small toy, in Lola's current face and multiple times. I'm not going to rest with my sisters, though. My job is done. Now, my job. Oh, I need one more, but who is it? He said, looking around. Yes, it must be me. I need you to. Lincoln said, looked down, and in 10 seconds, Lincoln was now hanging by a ceiling, and his back turned against the camera. We heard one. All the loud siblings are dead. All because Lincoln snapped. He built a moment. Lincoln had to kill himself in order to join his sister.